Hi, Kaw. All right. I was just reading your writing for your second submission. I tried a little oval in my pot to create an opening. Didn't like it, so I just drew a different pot. Changed the pot view and added some more red, took some out green out, plus some other changes. One thing I think is really important important for me to understand, and I think it's also important for you to express if you agree with the directed changes or recommendations. Because at the end of the day, it's your work. I can play art director. I can give you suggestions, but if they don't make sense to you, then it's not part of the learning process. So in response to some of your reposts, just let me know if you have a second. Just let me know if the recommended changes make sense to you. If they don't, I can try to further describe. Typically in a critique, I'll give recommendations and then I'll point to why those recommendations will improve the work. Plus, I'll also point to how those recommendations um, adhere to the elements and principles of design to create an optimal composition. So it's important to me that those make sense to you, that you're actually learning and not just making the changes. And I say that a lot to students in class. It's not part of the learning process just to make the changes and let you understand the reasoning behind the changes. So in your reposts, please let me know if you understand and agree with or disagree with the changes, because that's where the learning really takes place. Let's go ahead and take a look at your work. I've got it up right here, and I got to tell you, Kaw, this is gosh, I got to say, this is one of the better examples I've ever seen of this assignment. This is absolutely fantastic. I think that, I mean, just the little changes add so much depth. This right here, the oval and the pot, retrying the pot, the dimension, the perspective of that pot just adds enormous depth and volume to the illustrations that make up and this will definitely loan itself well as we move forward into the final project for the infographic. So this is really, really outstanding work. I'm still a little bit, as far as color value, you don't have to make any changes. As far as I'm concerned, this is just excellent work. But in the future and moving forward, the color palette to me is still a little bit, we still have a lot of green. I just really think that this will isolate just by merely changing the hue, not the value of the hue, but the actual parent hue itself from the background. I really think will add some dynamic interplay between the actual background and the illustrations. It will create some separation, and it will really, really develop a nice, interesting interplay between the background and the illustrations themselves. So again, wonderful work, outstanding. Thank you so much for sharing.